I would like to thank organizing committee and our major sponsors, ICR, PFON, and Fiji Beekeeper Association to make this event a success one. I will be talking about tips for quality honey processing and packaging. And I know here are experts in beekeeping, some doctors around and commercial beekeepers, but I will be discussing my views on tips of quality honey processing. Some of the awards which I have gained in Fiji Beekeepers Symposium. Best Fiji Honey, first place in 2013. Also most progressive beekeeper in 2016. Best Fiji Honey, second place in 2021, and Best Fiji Honey, third place in 2022, and expecting this year as well. I'm also registered in Fijian product, and I have pride for my country. Beekeepers are responsible for quality and purity of their honey. Some of the critical points: that choice of apiary, you have to consider the floral sources in order to get a nectar. And also, water is important for bees for drinking, like rivers and stream. And also, you have to consider how far is your apiary, because far apiaries are visited less compared to nearby apiaries. Choice of which frame to harvest and when to harvest. Decision on feeding bees. Cleanliness of extracting room and equipment. Also, personal hygiene is important. Choice of materials for honey processing and storage. Choice of filtering material. Preventing insects from contaminating honey. Compliance with labeling requirements. Here are some of my apiaries. Different location for apiary produces different honey quality and quantity. And this one is familiar to you guys because it's a Fiji Beekeepers Facebook page cover. And here was another one. We also have to know to breed the queens in beekeeping. Here is my breeding and mating apiary. As you can see, I have raised my own cells. Requeening with Australian bee genetics, I would like to thank Mr. Cooper from ICR and Rob Manning, breeder, and everyone who made this happen. We have received in September after the quarantine, and we have tried our best to requeen all of my hives. And there are some of the good points in these Italian bees, that they are yellow in color, and they are gentle to work with, and they are also productive. I take care of my bees, and they take care of me. In order for beekeeping, you have to know the behavior of bees. Understanding the needs of bees is important to help them produce honey. And also frequent apiary visits, identifying problems such as queenless hives, starving, hungry, and disease colonies. I leave enough honey during the rainy season so that the bees they have enough honey for them to eat. And I also give supermarket sugar instead of real sugar. And I also give syrup to my queening, when we're raising the cells to the hives, the ones we raise the queens. This is the one we giving syrup. And also to the nukes to strengthen the colony. And also you have to monitor the queen laying pattern. And sometimes queens are swarm, so you have to replace the queens in order to have a good crop of honey. And also there are the two common diseases in Fiji. One was IFB, and the other one is varroa mites. And I use two methods to detect. One I do with the uncapping the drone brood with the fork to check the mites, and also the best method is soap wash to determine the mite load. Once the mite load is determined, then I use emeritus and also epistain, and both are effective for me. Obstacles do happen in life. The first one was Cyclone Winston. I lost 60% of my beehives. And the other one was IFB outbreak, 2018 to 2020. And there is no option to save the equipment, you have to ban it. The best practice is to control is don't move frames around. And the other one was COVID-19 restriction. I was staying in Suba, so I can't move to my apiary. So I seek help from my parents and my family. Harvesting honey. Ideal for harvesting, the best is to see the honey is fully kept and it should be ripe enough. And the other one, okay to harvest, you can see the drone brood, the little batch of drone brood. Don't uncap the brood. And also in the middle, the last one in the middle, when there is a little bit of pollen and when there is honey flow stop. You have to check by shaking the frames. If the nectar drips, then you don't harvest it. It will contaminate your honey. Also, do not harvest the frames which are unkept and also the brood. Harvesting tips. Shake bees off frames into hive or near the hive entrance. Brush off bees. Transfer honey frames into an empty box. Keep honey covered. Bees are gentler in the morning and on sunny days. Avoid harvesting during rainy periods. It can contain moisture. Leave enough honey for bees and do not harvest from bottom box. Here are some of my helpers and men behind my success. And as you can see, after harvesting, the leaves are open from the apiary because we want bees to fly back to their hive. Extracting tips. At the moment, I'm extracting in my kitchen. You have to obtain a health license. In order to obtain that, you should have a screen honey house and insect barriers. Water for cleaning the equipment. Proper storage with lids. I separate poor quality honey from premium honey. I separate dark honey from light honey. Staining and filtering. When I am extracting my honey, I give one day, I fill the bucket till top. Then I give one day to float, wax and cappings. Then the next day I skim it off. Once I skim it off, then I stain with the fine strainer. I cover the honey containers as soon as possible to avoid moisture and contamination. Here you can see my parents are also helping in beekeeping, and honey has been loaded and transferred to Suba. Packaging honey. Honey storage containers must be made from food grade materials. Honey should always be covered to prevent contamination and moisture. Used containers should be cleaned with soapy water and rinsed and dried. Some of the good examples: stainless steel containers, food glass containers, and not good containers also you can see aluminum, galvanized steel, and paraquat. Bottling honey. While bottling honey, you have to be patient. Some people, they harvest, then they straight away bottle. Then you can see the bubbles and you can see the froth on the bottle. It takes a few days for the tiny air bubbles to rise. And you bottle the honey from the bottom with the honey gate. And also you have to be accurate, you have to use the scale. I don't do additional processing. I just do comb to bottle. In labeling honey, here are some of the examples of different types of honey. Honey customers are tend to be loyal. Promote your brand with good label. Legal requirements for honey label. You have to use the word honey, contents, weight, packaging date, and batch number. Best to use expiry date. Name and contact information should be there. Nutritional information should be there. Barcode is optional. It's okay to use the word pure Fiji natural raw and specify the originating district or province of honey. Here are some of Nahl honey is displayed in some of the major supermarkets. I bottle in 3 different sizes. Some people use for daily in breakfast table, and some people use for their medicine. So it's easy and convenient for people to buy. Marketing honey. Competition in the market. I don't compete with the others. Some customers prefer premium quality and are loyal. I sell honey in 3 different ways. Bottle and label for sale to shopkeepers at distributor price. Bottle, label and sell at retailer price. Bulk sales at wholesale price, and some export. Frequent visit to supermarkets are required to monitor stock volume and presentation on shelves. I also keeping records and inventory. Here we were promoting our product in Rakiraki Agriculture Show, and you can see some familiar faces around. That was in 2013. Susan Douglas and CEO. Lastly, some of my future plans to have a proper honey house with processing equipment, and I also want to export my own brand. Thank you.